Hi, I'm Cameron with Power Sports Nation, and we're going on a yard walk. We got carbon fiber. It can vote. It can almost vote. It's not the ideal fat kid car. This would not be a comfortable ride. The first machine we're going to talk about on our yard walk is this 2023 Can-Am Maverick X3. 6.7 miles. This thing's brand new. So you may be asking yourself, why is Power Sports Nation parting out a brand new Maverick X3? Well, we want to keep good parts on our shelf. And what's better than good parts? New parts. One thing to talk about the X3, it's not fat kid friendly. Look at this seating position. If you got a size, am I 12 or 13? 12 clop stomper like me, there's not a lot of room here. It's not the ideal fat kid car. The X3 arguably is one of the best sport UTVs on the market. They got the Mav R out now, but not all of us got big ball or hauler money. So a base model X3 like this is a great machine to have. So you're probably wondering, why is Power Sports Nation parting out a brand new machine? It doesn't make sense. Well, the X3 is one of those machines that we want to keep the parts on our shelves at all times. There are lots of interchangeable parts from 2017 to 2025. You can interchange A-arms, trailing arms, knuckles, brakes. Pretty much it's the same model of machine from 17 to 23. 24, 25, whatever you want to say. And so that's what makes this machine so great for us to part out, is because of the compatibility. We can sell a customer these seats to fit in a 17. So it really helps us create a more broad customer base for this X3. Like I said, it only has 6.7 miles. I may have put a couple miles on it myself just because we needed to confirm that it ran good.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's brand new, so it's gonna run good. But we just wanted to have some fun. All right, full disclosure, the first time we shot this video, I sucked, so we're shooting it again, and it's cold. So I wanted to go over some of the parts and pieces that we're gonna be getting off this machine that are unique. So first things first is we're gonna be selling this as a spare wheel and tire. So if you got a Can-Am Maverick X3, we're gonna be selling this as a wheel and tire together. It'll show up just like this, shipped to your door. So for a much cheaper price than buying the two separate, we're gonna sell them together as a spare tire. Next up is the frame. This is a 2023, and if you go to our website and you see in the title, CT paperwork, that means that this thing has a clean title. Obviously, since it's a brand new machine, when we're parting it out, it's gonna have a good straight frame, but we also have a clean title. And for some people, when they're purchasing these parts, a clean title, depending on what state you're in, means the world. Because if you were to buy a frame straight from Can-Am, it would come with no VIN number and no paperwork, which ultimately renders your frame useless. You can't register it, you can't title it, you can't put insurance on it. So if you do purchase this frame, you will receive the proper paperwork with it, and that's got quite a bit of value to it. Next up, I'm gonna talk about the miscellaneous bolt kit. Like, why would anyone ever wanna buy a bag of bolts? Well, if you're doing a frame swap on a machine like this, you wouldn't believe how many bolts are bent, broken, stripped. And it's horrible to go down to your Ace Hardware, Baumgars, whatever bolt store you got, and find the proper bolt with the proper shank length, the proper thread pitch, the diameter. So when we part this machine out, you're able to buy all the bolts that came off of it. And they're usually around 75 to 100 bucks, which may seem like a lot, but by the time you start buying bolts from the OEM, it doesn't take long to get to 100 bucks. Next, I'm gonna talk about the fenders. So yes, we do sell used plastics all the time, but say you got a 2023 Maverick X3 just like this, and it's really clean. You want really clean fenders that match. One of the nice things about these newer X3s that are considered an upgrade is the rear knuckles. So this central radius rod here goes into a double shear knuckle. So on the earlier models, they were a single shear, and that bolt would start to wobble and wear out. By having a double shear, this is an OEM upgrade. When we used to race an X3, we used to have to buy crazy billet knuckles. They were like 3,500 bucks. But a lot of racers nowadays are able to run the OEM knuckles because of the different upgrades that they made throughout the years and be able to race successfully on them at a fraction of the price. Next, we got the engine. So we will be selling this engine complete. So if you were to go to Can-Am and buy a brand new engine, it would come as a long block. So it would not have the stator cover, flywheel, or stator. Nice thing about this engine, if you bought it complete, this has the upgraded stator. It has an 850 watt stator in it, where the old stators, I believe, were 400 originally, then 650, and now they are 850. You will need the voltage regulator upgrade as well to be able to handle the new output, but we will also have that for sale on our website. So what a lot of people don't know about the X3 is that the OEM axles and drive shafts are really pretty good for the money. So yes, they do make upgraded axles and whatnot, but when we were racing, and a lot of people that race these X3 run the OEM axles. One, because they are super strong, and two, they become a fuse. So when you're racing these things or you're driving them really hard, it's much easier to replace an axle than it is a transmission or a differential. Also, the drive shafts on these machines over the years as they progressed have gotten better and better and better from the OEM. And for your bang for the buck, it's really hard to beat the OEM drive shaft and axles. Another fun fact about the frame, in 2022, Can-Am did a major upgrade on the frame. So on different portions of the frame here, this frame is 30% thicker than the original frame, and it is 13% more rigid. That may seem weird, why would they upgrade the frame? But originally, when these came out, you had to throw gusset kits in, bulkhead kits, you had to throw in all these extra braces to get them to not crack and break or bend as easily. So by having a newer frame like this in your machine, it is more rigid and stronger and will take more abuse than the OEM frame. Here we got a 2023 Yamaha YFZ 450R. This is something that you don't see very often at Power Sports Nation. Over the years, it's been getting harder and harder to find sport quads. We've just decided we're gonna start buying nice ones and parting them out. I'm gonna bet that this thing maybe has 4 hours on it. It is perfect. So we're gonna get lots and lots of good parts off of this. One big thing that we're gonna get out of it is a titled frame. We're gonna have a good complete engine. This thing starts right up. I mean, it sounds lame because it still has the stock exhaust, but it's bone stock. What do you expect? We got good front bumpers. They even still have the reflectors on them, front and rear. These plastics, I don't see a scratch on them. And we're probably gonna sell the plastics as a complete kit. So if somebody has a yellow or a black and they wanna go to the blue, they'll be able to buy this entire plastic kit together. We got a good seat here. It's got a strap mark from when we transported it, but when it starts to warm up here and it's not 18 degrees, that'll go away. We're also gonna have the bolt kit off this machine as well. You don't need bolts until you need them, and it's a cheap investment buying a miscellaneous bolt bag from us if you're constantly working on your machine, and if you're like me who likes to use impacts and strip bolts. One cool thing we got over here, we got carbon fiber. That's at least 30 horsepower. I know this probably only comes with like 45, but now we got 75 because we got carbon fiber. So yeah, this is a super nice, clean machine that we're gonna get brought in and parted out. Next up, we got a Defender Limited Max. So what we're gonna have with this is we're gonna have a good, clean title frame. We're gonna have both sets of doors, front and rear. We're gonna be selling these as a kit. So if you have a base model machine without a set of doors, we're gonna sell these complete so you can order them together and put cab on your Max Defender that doesn't have a cab. We got a good front windshield up here. With this being the Limited, it does have the fancy seats. I'm not a big fan of the brown, but that's just me. It does have the heat and AC, so we're gonna have like the HVAC components. We do rebuild this motor, and from the sounds of it, I don't think we're gonna get a good motor. Yeah, I just don't think we're gonna get a good motor. It does have 13,000 miles, so we're gonna see what drivetrain components are still in good use. These Defenders are known to kill clutches at this mileage range. But yeah, we got really nice blue fenders. I personally like these blue. I wish they did some American flag stuff with it, but they're French Canadian, so they probably don't support America. Got a good roof. We're probably gonna end up selling this bed complete. But yeah, overall, it's a really nice machine that's gonna make us a lot of parts to put on the shelf. Next up on the yard walk is we got a Wolverine X2. So this was Yamaha's competitor to the Polaris General. It's one of those machines that not many people like. They're just there. Twin cylinder 850, they made them in the 1000. They made them in an R-Max edition, which is supposed to be sportier, but if you ask anyone who drives one of these, they're not very sporty. This machine's got a lot of good parts on it. You got a nice set of Larry Hoovers on it, nice reservoir shocks. It looks like this thing may have had a little bit of a fire inside of it. You know, things happen when you party naked, but yeah, we got this machine going up next. Here we got an 08 Renegade 800. This is an OG monster. I remember reading Dirt Wheels as a kid on the toilet, just lusting over this Renegade 800. And I'll be honest, it's just as good as I remember. This thing only has 1,100 miles. It is extremely clean. I mean, listen to this kitty purr. I mean, we got good plastics here. The stickers are a little worn, but you got to think about this thing. It's 17 years old. You can almost buy cigarettes. No, you can't do that anymore, can you? It can vote. It can almost vote. This machine, I mean, it doesn't even have broken footwells, no broken fenders. Looks like it's got a custom rear rack on it, which as you saw with my wheelie in, it holds some weight, a lot of weight. It's got the OEM aluminum wheels. But yeah, really clean machine. It doesn't even have a rust hole in the muffler. I will say a Rotax 800 V-twin or any V-twin Rotax engine sounds amazing with the pipe. So I wish this had a pipe, but yeah, this thing is just cherry. Here we got a 2018 John Deere Gator 835M. In the last video or video or two ago, I said I didn't know the difference between an 835M and an 835R, but I did some research, AKA I watched a YouTube video. So the difference between the 835M and the 835R is essentially it has a complete interior. So it's got all the cloth panels and all that fancy stuff, better seats, and usually they have aluminum wheels where the 835M has steel wheels. This one has aluminum wheels on it already, so I can't explain that part. What people don't realize on these machines is these share a lot of the same chassis as an 825i, which is the predecessor to the 835. What also people don't know is that this uses a Cherry 825i engine. That is the same engine that Kawasaki uses in their Mule, and it is the same engine that Chevy uses in one of their cars. It's a 3-cylinder steel block, aluminum head, very basic motor. We've seen these engines go 20, 30,000, 40,000 miles without needing any work. And these things are a true workhorse. They're just one of those things, when they need them to work, they just work. Next up, we got a Pioneer 1005. Probably wondering what the 5 stands for. This seats 5 people. So say you were a nice family man, you got married, then you guys, did married stuff, and then needed to add a kid. That's where the 5-seater comes in. These things are pretty cool. They have folding seats. They have a release button. I don't really know how it works, but they release and they fold down to where you have a functional bed, but at the same time, you can fold them up, put the kids in the back here, and go rip around on the trails. It's really designed for kids. I mean, I'll show you how I fit in here. For a 6-foot tall, 60-pound man, this would not be a comfortable ride on a trail ride, but it would work. One thing that we will do when we part this machine out is we will sell this as a kit. So if you have a standard 3-seater, you can buy this roll cage section here and this bed, put it on your 3-seater and convert it into a 5-seater. So that's pretty dang cool. Last but not least, we got a Kawasaki Mule Pro FX. This is the long box version of a side-by-side. You could fit a lot of stuff. I don't know what you could fit in there. This does share the same engine as the John Deere Gator I was showing you over there. There are some small differences, but it's essentially the same block. These things are absolute tanks. We actually have 4 of them here that we use to run around with, but they are not speed demons by any means. I think they maybe have a top speed of 45 mile an hour compared to that X3, which will do 80, 85, 90. This thing's slow, but it won't break down like a Can-Am will. It does turn over, but it does not sound healthy. Maybe a little low on compression, but that's perfect. It's gonna go down to rebuilds anyways. These transmissions are hard to find, so that'll hopefully it goes through good. Differentials, drive shafts, all those parts on these Mule Pros are really hard to find because people want to keep them and keep them working because they're such solid machines. But yeah, can't wait to get it on our shelves and part it out. So I know with our yard walks, we've been really focusing on UTVs, but don't think that we don't have ATVs. I mean, we got quite a few. We still bring in ATVs daily. We're still parting them out like this sweet Sportsman 570, Sportsman 450, 800, 500. We got them all. We're parting them out. Let us know in the comments if you want to see more ATVs or more UTVs. What do you want us to talk about in these videos? Because we don't know. They're really thinking about firing me and just letting me go. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just standing out here talking about 4-wheelers. So like and subscribe, leave comments, share this to your friends, and please Follow along for the next one. Please, I'm begging you. I talked to HR yesterday. They're gonna fire me. Oh! Oh, that's right towards the fence. Oh God. Ah, I don't know. To start off, ugh, motherfucker. This sun is right in my eye.